Hey ladies and gents, it's Nathan from Bastion Games here. It's pretty exciting. We have the newest Magic the Gathering set coming out for pre-release stores this Friday, July the 25th. We're going to have everything in stock. We will have tons of collector booster boxes. We'll have both commander decks, play booster boxes, booster packs, pre-release kits, and all the singles available for it in bundles. So if you're looking for any, you can find pre-orders on our website, which the link will be in the comments. The first video I want to do is I want to talk to you guys about the commander decks. There are only two for this set, and a lot of people aren't a fan of that. I'm a huge fan, not necessarily because there's less, but because of the quality of the decks. So this first one here is Counterintelligence. And this deck revolves entirely around powering up spaceships and proliferating. So I'll go through the cards. The first card is the primary commander, and that is Inspirit Flagship Vessel. You'll notice we won't go through too much detail on all the cards, but most of them are reprints. The ones that aren't reprints are absolutely amazing. I have never seen two commander decks paired against each other that are as strong straight out of the box as these ones. So this is the new legendary artifact card type, which is Spacecraft. You're able to tap your creatures to station it. Now, unlike vehicles, you don't have to tap them every turn. When you tap them, they put charge counters on the spacecraft. When the spacecraft reaches the requisite amount, it gains abilities. So for this card, after it reaches 1, it says at the beginning of your combat, on your turn, put your choice of a +1/+1 counter or 2 charge counters on up to 1 other target artifact. Now, charge counters are what station a spacecraft. So you can make your artifact creatures bigger, or you can start stationing other spacecraft. Once you reach 8, it turns into a 5/5 flyer that reads, other artifacts you control have hexproof and indestructible. Absolutely crazy. Plus, the art is phenomenal. Beautiful card. The second commander in the set, or in this deck, is Kilo, Apogee Mind. Now, I'm super excited because I have struggled with making a Jeskai deck. Jeskai being these 3 colors, blue, red, and white. And with it, this one has a very unique ability. It's 3 mana for a 3/3 with haste. Whenever he becomes tapped, proliferate. Now, that's tapped for any reason. If you tap it to station a spacecraft, if you tap when you attack, whatever you'd like to do. So there's a lot of possibilities with this card. And I've chosen this guide to make a commander deck around. So in the deck, you have a ton of new cards. We've got Patrolling Peacemaker, Insight Engine, which is about as close to a balanced One Ring as you can get. We have more Spacecraft. We have Depth Shaker Titan, Long Range Sensor, Moxite Refinery, Solar Array. Now this one's cool. It says add 1 mana of any color, and it's a 3-drop mana rock. So a lot of people don't like 3-drop. I'm more of a casual player, as you'll notice as I get a lot of this stuff wrong, probably. I don't play as much CDH, but so I love 3-drop artifacts, 3-drop mana rocks especially. So this one says add 1 mana of any color. When you next cast an artifact spell this turn, that spell gains Sunburst. So if it's a creature, it enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Otherwise, it enters with that many charge counters. So this allows you to pre-station spacecraft or put +1/+1 counters on artifact creatures, which you can then proliferate using the mechanics in the deck. We have Surge Conductor. We have the unique to these commander decks Cycle of Lands that are continued in these decks. Glittering Massive and Radiant Summit, both red-white. Now we get to some of the reprints, and the reprints in these decks are really good. We've got Swan Song, CDH staple, Chaos Warp, Commander staple, Cloud Key, another extremely powerful card that's used in multiple brackets. Gavel of the Righteous, I believe, is new. Battlefield Forge, Angel of Ruin, Fumigate, for all of you that love board wipes. Organic Extinction, again, another board wipe. Resourceful Defenses, which I believe has only ever been in one other commander deck. Chromo Seed Shark. Cyberdrive Awakener, which is an extremely powerful finisher in artifact decks. Deep Glow Skate. You'll see this primarily in Super Friends decks with a lot of Planeswalkers because it doubles the counters on stuff. Now, it does double the charge counters on Stationed Craft as well. Emery. Kappa Cannoneer, absolutely busted. Phyrexian Metamorph. Pull from Tomorrow. Ripples of Potential, which again, the only other place previously to get this was out of a Lost Caverns of Ixalan commander deck. Tekuthal, which is a huge reprint. Universal Surveillance. Thought Monitor. Chain Reaction. Alabu, fantastic commander unto itself. Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. Wake the Past. Astral Cornucopia. Crystalline Crawler. Dark Steel Reactor. Now, I'm going to pause on this one. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter on this artifact. When this artifact has 20 or more charge counters on it, you win the game. Yeah, I really don't have to explain how quickly that happens with cards that proliferate or add charge counters. Empowered Auto Generator. Hangerback Walker is an absolute beast in the deck. Lux Artillery. Lux Cannon. Steel Overseer. Threefold Thunderhulk. Titan Forge. And then it has a plethora of lands. Now these lands, they're actually pretty good. Like you won't see any $40, $50 lands in there. But it has Pain lands. It's got check lands. It's got filter lands. It's got some unique ones. Karn's Bastion for proliferating. And it comes packed full of good cards right out of the box. And then it's got its instants and sorceries. So we got Swords to Plowshares, Tezzeret's Gambit, Thirst for Knowledge. It's got Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Command Tower. All the staples in each commander deck are in these ones as well. It has a whole bunch of good proliferate cards. Core Tapper, which is usually pretty hard to get your hands on. Etched Oracle, Golem Foundry, Mindless Automaton. Yeah, I've never seen a deck straight out of the box have as many good cards as these ones. The Proliferate deck that I am building, I put a deck list together, picked up probably about 60 cards for it. And turns out that about 70% of them are already in this deck. All right, we're going to end each of the decks with the sample collector pack that comes out of it. So these are not full collector packs. I believe they only come with 3 cards, and you can find them in the commander decks. Now these usually have some kind of chance for a unique version of cards. So we have a Extended Art Foil 0-point Ballard. Only 2 cards in these ones. And a Codecracker Hound. All right, on to the next deck. The next deck is called World Shaper. And I believe in the history of Magic, this is the first bracket 4 commander deck that they've ever made as a Precon. Specifically because of one card. So we have the primary commander, Hearthhull, the World Seed. It's another spacecraft. These cards themselves, the deck revolves around putting lands into play and sacrificing them. So it's like a interesting take on landfall and sacrificing lands. The secondary commander, you have Zarel, Genesis Shepherd. He's 5 mana in Jund colors for a 2/5 flyer that says you may play lands from your graveyard. That's solid. Whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to his power on up to 1 other target creature. So obviously what you want to do with this guy is you want to pump this guy up, and then you want to start cracking your own stuff when it's good for you, and pumping up your other creatures using it. So I'll just go through this one quickly. There are a whole pile of cards that are designed around the mechanic. This one, Planetary Annihilation, is what makes it a bracket level 4 deck. It is 5 mana for each player chooses 6 lands they control and sacrifices the rest. Planetary Annihilation deals 6 damage to each creature. You want to be sacrificing your lands in this deck, so it's going to benefit you. Other people do not want to be. And because this classifies as mass land denial, it pops this deck into power level 4. Got Baloth Prime, Exploration Broodship. You will see a lot of cards, if you've been playing Magic for a while, that are similar to cards from Urza's block. So Urza's block has a 1 mana enchantment called Exploration, and it says you may play an extra land each turn. This is very similar to that, except it is an artifact instead of an enchantment. You can station it. You cannot play an extra land until you get 3 charge counters on this. But if you get it to 8, it turns into a 4/4 flyer that says once during each of your turns, you may cast a permanent spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a land in addition to paying its other costs. That's pretty crazy. A lot of these spacecraft have huge late game application, and they're pretty balanced because they can't station too fast. Horizon Explorer. We have Scouring Swarm, which is Black-Green's version of Scoot Swarm. It triggers off of sacrificing lands instead of putting them into play. We got some unique lands. The 2-land cycle for this deck is Black-Green, Vernal Fen, and Festering Thicket. This one has Fabled Passage, Braids Arisen Nightmare, God Eternal Bantu, Blasphemous Act, Hammer of Perforos for haste, Morog, Fury of Akum. If you play any kind of landfall deck, this guy ends games. Augur of Autumn, Centaur Vinecrasher, Formless Genesis, Lonecrafter Fawn, Multani's in there. We've got Oracle of Moldiah, Pest Infestation, Rampaging Baloths, Splendid Reclamation. So already, if you play any kind of landfall deck, you're recognizing a huge portion of these cards. They're probably already in your deck because they're fantastic. If you want to get into a landfall deck with a twist, this one being sacrifice your lands too, this is a very solid deck with tons of good reprints in it. Plus, the new cards, unique ones, are fantastic. Got Escape to the Wilds, Gaze of Granite, Gitrog monsters in here, Corvold Fakehurst King. This guy's a CDH commander. I don't know if he's fallen off a bit. I play him in a casual deck. He's tons of fun. Mazarek, Omnath Locus of Rage, Soul of Windgrace, Windgrace's Judgment, World Soul's Rage. We got a bunch of good lands. And then it goes over to the commons and uncommons. So you'll see a lot of stuff like Farseek, Springbloom Druid, Binding of the Old Gods. It's got Signets and Soul Rings and Command Towers like the other one. Terramorphic Expanse, some removal and card draw, Beast Within, Cultivate, Groundskeeper, Harrow, Nature's Lore, Satyr Wayfinder. It's got Jury in there, Mayhem Devil, Putrid, and these guys are good for the sacrifice payoffs. Rakdos Charm, Urborg, or Urg, Spawn of Third. And then a whole pile of good lands, common and uncommon lands, and then you have your basic land. So again, absolutely awesome commander decks. And to finish this one off, we have here the sample pack. It's exciting. This is the first time I'm seeing Edge of Eternities cards in person. So figured I'd share with you guys. So Pain for All is the card in there, followed by a foil Tractor Beam. If anybody plays Anti-Blight as their commander, or any kind of like group slug deck, you probably want to pick up a copy of this one. So again, this all comes out Friday, July 25th. That's this Friday. We also have 4 pre-release events. Tickets are selling really fast online. People are pretty excited about this set. The first one is Friday at 7 p.m. Second one is Saturday at 5. The third one is Sunday at 5. And then the last one is next Wednesday at 5 p.m. All right. If you guys have any questions, concerns, feel free to post them in the comments below the video. And again, Nathan from Bastion Games, super excited about this set. Hope you guys are. I'll see you Friday.